We're good.
Rape is bad. Don't do it. This is Gabe. You're listening to Thinking Outside the Longbox. Woo! You are
Tim.
Oh, I'm Juan.
I fucked that up.
I didn't know what was going
It was
on.
amazing.
I thought we were re-introing.
Yeah. No, hey everybody. Welcome to Thinking
shit.
Outside the Longbox. Of course,
Are we re-introing?
No. You're good.
you just forgot to start the video, right?
No. You're good.
Today we are going to be continuing our discussion of, I guess we can just say 50s science fiction.
Yeah.
Because they're all in the 50s.
Yeah, 51 and
So-
51 and 56.
There we go.
58.
58.
So, if you missed the last episode where we talked about Thing from Another World, sorry, be sure to go back in our feed and check it out. If you're on YouTube, be sure to just find it on YouTube. There can't
Just probably the previous video.
It can't be that fucking you all seem like delightful, intelligent human beings except for one guy, and he knows who he is. So, well, yeah, the comedian in that. So, but we'll get to that. During the listener interaction.
Yeah.
The Day the Earth Stood Still, aka Farewell to the Master and Journey to the World, is a 1951 American black and white science fiction film from 20th Century Fox, produced by Julian Blaustein and directed by Robert Weiss. The film stars Michael Renee, Patricia Neal, Hugh Marlowe, Sam Jaffe, Bill Gray, Francis B. Bavier, and Locke Martin. The screenplay was written by Edmund H. North, based on the 40s science fiction short story Farewell to the Master by Harry Bates, and the film score was composed by Berman Herman. The film's storyline involves a humanoid alien visitor named Klaatu that comes to Earth, accompanied by a powerful 8-foot-tall robot, Gort, to deliver an important message that will affect the entire human race.
And of course, that message is that now that you have
Shape
nukes,
up, bitches.
now that you have nukes, and now that you have rockets, you can either join the Universal Police State, or we'll blow your planet the fuck up.
Yeah. Get your shit together.
So, damn it.
You alright? You get
Yeah.
more hot sauce in you?
No, I just forget how to swallow sometimes, I guess.
He does.
So-
It's all
Anyway, so this movie came out the same year as Thing from Another World. Again, black and white movie, lots of great visuals.
What's wrong with you?
He's an idiot. That's what's wrong with him. My dog's a fucking idiot. And like fueled by anxiety, like day and night. Like he has zero chill.
But he's well taken care of, PETA.
Oh no, we love it. He just has zero chill. So unless he's asleep, so I give him chloroform. Just kidding. I'd never do that to a dog, just to people.
We're generally tire him out by, putting his leash on and then kind of, just having him follow the car for a little bit.
Oh my god, don't say shit like
That
that.
tires him right now.
Yeah.
Him and Gabe do a little bit of
What?
so
That's
it's
disgusting.
tiring him out. I'm just
I'm
saying.
not gonna have sex with an animal.
No, he's having sex with you.
I'm not.
I thought you were saying man was down there like South Park.
This went off the rails real fucking fast.
Day the Earth Stood Still.
A lot of the same like visuals, a lot of the same ideas, like
Way better.
but
A lot
just,
better.
just better done, and like the dialogue in it is constantly driving the story. Like it's constantly pushing it along, explaining what's happening, like why these characters are coming together, why they're trying to get together these scientists, why Klaatu doesn't want to talk to politicians because they can't get their shit together, like, all this other stuff. Like
Weird.
yeah, isn't it crazy? Imagine that. They can't fucking figure it out. But
I told you, Patreon.
in general, like it just flows better. It's certainly not a fast movie.
No.
Like it's paced really, really slowly. But the difference between a well-written, slowly paced movie and a movie that's slowly paced and clearly just focuses on a monster that's never on screen is monumental.
The writing is just fucking blows the thing away. Like it's just
Completely.
so much better written than the thing.
Like, even, like, when Gort isn't doing anything. Like, literally, it's just like a... like visual on him, like it's still like intimidating and imposing because he's an 8-foot robot that is like being hounded by military.
Well, and they've built him up. Like, I
Yeah.
can't penetrate him with any tools, you know, who knows what kind of metal this is. So
Yeah.
when he actually does some shit, you're like, oh, fuck.
I
Like,
mean, did anybody actually try to penetrate him though?
I mean,
your dog.
All right, now it's full circle and it's fun. It went from him fucking me to him fucking Gort, and I'm like a way bigger fan of that. So, Gort is obviously like one of the iconic like science fiction robots. Okay,
for sure. He's
like
got action figures. He's got. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Gort. There's Gort. There's the robot from
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. I was about to say, you know, the Danger
A
Danger.
really
robot.
good series.
Yeah,
The new series is really good.
There's Robbie the robot from Forbidden Planet. Fuck, we should have watched that too.
That's a good movie too. And then you can't shy away from talking about R2D2 and C3PO.
Oh, yeah,
like they
for
belong
sure.
in that canon. Gort is like one of the most recognizable science fiction creatures, and he's born.
Yeah.
And I think really the only reason he's so iconic is because the movie that surrounds him makes him seem so intimidating.
Yeah.
Like it makes him seem unstoppable. And that is really, really cool that something that looks like it's made out of trash cans
I mean,
is like scary as fuck.
well, his little like laser eyes, like he
That
levels,
melts a tank.
like yeah, he like levels like 2 or 3 tanks off the cuff. Just like, here you go, just gonna set the standard right
Don't
now.
fuck with us.
Like you are outgunned. And then later on, he straight up vaporizes the other 2 guys when Klaatu gets shot.
Yep.
Like,
So
not
it-
even a pile of ash.
It's
just
it's
gone.
like you kind of said at the beginning. It's a story about an alien who he tells a story about. There used to be chaos in the world and in the universe, and they created these robots in order to essentially stomp that out. And so they've given away a lot of their. I don't even know if they've given away a lot of freedoms. They've given
have
away.
given away a lot of their
But I mean, they're free to do anything but
Kill each other.
like be dickheads to each other.
This is America. That is the most important freedom.
Yeah. A lot of motherfuckers deserve it
See, that's the problem.
regularly.
But so they've created these robots to essentially extinguish that, so that different races can live in peace. And like you said at the beginning, the humans have finally come to a state where they have something that could threaten outside of the Earth.
Yeah.
And so
He literally says, I don't care what you do on your own planet.
he said, I don't
Yeah.
care about your squabbles.
Yeah. Like, zero
You bring
fucking
this shit up here, we're gonna have some problems.
So where I delve from liking this movie, because obviously there's a 2008 version with Keanu Reeves, is at the very end. I love the ending of the 2008 movie, where the kid pleads with him the whole time to be like, save us, like stop this madness. There's good people still. And Klaatu's like, all right, well, there's going to be a big sacrifice to do that. And he fucking wipes all electricity off of the whole fucking planet. So he essentially sends them back to like the Stone Age, where they have to kind of figure everything out again. I really like that. It seems like a consequence other than just a show of like melting tanks and shit like that.
Yeah.
It seems like okay, we've done this. You fucking do it again, and we'll be back again, and it'll be way worse than this. Whereas the original seems more like just a warning,
It's
like
straight-
a tale. I don't know.
It's straight fascism.
Yeah.
They're literally saying you have to adhere to what we say or we destroy your planet.
Right.
Whereas that is, we're going to send you back and we're going to give you another chance to do it right. And like that is a more palatable idea to us, you know, in the society and the culture that we live in now, than the other one, because we're more inclined to think that we should be free and that people shouldn't be saying, you need to do it this way, because if you don't do it this way, it hurts other people. It's literally the mask debate. Like,
Yeah.
Right. So the reason I like the other one is because, like I said, it feels more like a real punishment. Like, I got punished. Let's figure it out now.
Mhm.
You know, the other one feels just more like we'll see.
It's a threat.
And
No.
to me, it gives those
Well,
humans the opportunity to be like,
yeah.
well, now we know what's out there.
You gotta-
How do we stop them from coming back here? You know what I mean? As opposed to fixing what the problems are.
Exactly. Like, the difference is one is an opportunity and the other one's a threat.
Right.
Like,
Well, you got to look at the times back then. Fascism, communism were a huge threat, at least a huge perceived threat to the American people that I assume was largely the audience of this film.
right.
So I feel like those consequences probably had the same bearing on them as one with the remake.
What's interesting, I do like that it leaves it open-ended, where he tells the scientists what they need to do, and then that's it.
Yep.
He
He's
flies
like,
away, and that's the end.
it's like, it's on
And
you
that's-
now.
Yeah, and that's the same way with the Keanu Reeves one. It's very open-ended. And I think, in general, the Thing is just a monster movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. This is, like, genuinely something that's intended to make you think about things. Like, it's entertaining, it's full of action, it's clearly science fiction with spacemen and robots and tanks and all sorts of shit, but it's also, like, has a very obvious and, like, intentional message
Yeah.
that makes this so much more than just like a monster movie, which it easily could have been.
Well,
And again, I think that's a big part of why Gort has become so iconic. He doesn't say word fucking one. Like, he just lasers things and listens to people and brings somebody back from the dead, which is fucking crazy cool. But
It's cool because this, unlike The Thing, this movie almost has no action in it.
yeah,
Like, there's very few times where Gort's doing something, but the story is, and maybe it's just because of what's going on in the world today that it just resonates a little deeper. You know, I made
kind of
it.
a timeless story.
It really is. I
I
made
don't
chill
even
the fuck
think-
out or bad things are happening.
I don't even think it's the times. Like, this story resonated with me when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I watched it, like,
Right.
as a middle schooler. I mean, I would assume that this is something that the kids could watch and be like, wow, that was kind of cool.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think
At least
the
Ashton.
I think the story was great. You know, whether we're going 2008 or 1951, it's a well written story.
So, we've talked about two movies now. Thing from Another World, Day the Earth Stood Still. Both
Just
movies.
a quick side note.
Yeah.
Day the Earth Stood Still actually did win a Golden Globe in 1952.
Oh,
So
definitely deserving of an award. Like, it's a good-ass movie.
yeah,
Both movies, they've been remade. John Carpenter's The Thing, vastly superior to the old version.
Oh,
of
yeah,
The Thing.
100%.
Like 100% better.
Even
wasn't
in
a hard
the
thing to accomplish.
even in the
Yes.
zeitgeist of like history though.
Yeah,
I feel like if you were to be like, hey, have you seen The Thing? Nobody's
think-
remembering
Nope.
1951.
nope. Everybody thinks of the John Carpenter
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the John Carpenter movie was a remake until I was like in my teens, and that's why I ended up like trying to see the movie. You
Right.
know? Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I haven't seen the 2008 version of The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, wow.
How does it hold up to the old one? Is it better, or is it like kind of the same? Like, I know you prefer the ending to the new one, but
It's almost a completely different movie with like similar premise.
huh.
So Gort is actually huge in the remake. He's not 8 foot tall. He's probably like 30 feet tall.
Yeah.
And what comes off of him, because they've already made their decision by the time they've got to Earth. It was never ever a retribution story for Earth.
Yeah.
They came to Earth knowing they were going to level it. And so Gort has like nanobites on him that are just, as soon as he gets to Earth, they start kind of going out. And you start seeing cities and shit disintegrate. And so at the end, Klaatu is convinced that he needs to change that by the child saying, you know, because he sees hope in different people. And the
Right.
government in that one is just fucking trying to do everything they can to kill
Yeah.
the alien and the machine.
Right,
And so
yeah.
there's like no retribution for those people, but he sees it in this little like 8-year-old kid. And so that's why the decision is made that he's got to try and save it. But he almost can't. It's like in the old movie where he says we don't really have control, you kind of see that in the 2008 movie because he can't just go up to Gort and be like, all right, stop.
Yeah.
Like he's got to use his powers in order to make that happen.
That's interesting. I think I'm going to try to find it because
It's not a bad watch.
it sounds kind of cool. And I love Keanu Reeves, so there
Me
you go.
too. He's such a great human being.
Agreed.
I would definitely make out with him.
It's not.
I think he's married. I think he just got married.
That definitely
married?
hasn't ever stopped me. Yeah,
you
he
married?
married.
Good.
I think so.
So what do we say about this one?
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Both thumbs up.
If I had to give it like a star, I don't think I'd say it's perfect. I'd probably be somewhere in the 85, 90 range. But it's for sure a thumbs up, 100%.
My dad mostly wrote a synopsis of the film, but he did chuckle at the fact that, like, this movie would still work if they just remade it almost scene for scene right now.
Yeah,
Because we're still having the same kind of problems with war.
for sure. Like, very
So-
little has changed other than how we perceive things and which people we yell at.
Like, so we're almost living in the same times, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Just thought that was kind of amusing and weird.
Oh, fun fact, I didn't know, and I'm an idiot, I had no idea this is where Bruce Campbell got Klaatu Barada necktie from.
Oh, you didn't know
No, I had
that?
no
Oh,
idea.
okay.
Until I was like, oh fuck, awesome.
That's the thing he has to say.
Yeah.
Then he fucks up.
Yeah.
Causes the Evil Dead to rise.
It's funny because Klaatu says the same thing to her, like, you have to say it like this.
Yeah.
You fuck it up.
She's
Good
a
job.
Klaatu Barada. There, I said the words. Yeah.
You're fucked.
Oh, man.
Buddy.
Stop choking.
Dude, I don't know what my deal is. Today, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
Nice.
What about tomorrow? What are you going to give
I
it
don't
tomorrow?
know, probably like a 9 out of 10.
What do you think you would have given it yesterday?
Probably like an 8 out of 10 because I was tired.
And like next week, maybe?
Yeah, probably. It's like, same 85, 90%. Like, it's just a good movie.
Okay, this bit sucks. Great movie.
I'm Doyle. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Why he sounds like Tally, I don't know.
Wow, your Doyle sounds way too thin.
Here, let me try. I can't get right on that.
That's funny. I do think, though, on a serious note, I do think Doyle would have liked. I
sure
think he
he
liked
liked
this
this
movie.
movie, yeah.
What if we got it dead wrong and you're gonna add a clip in later that's like, it's fucking Doyle,
Yeah.
it's horseshoes?
I just feel like this
Dumbest
is the
shit
type
I've
of
seen.
movie, the type of commentary he likes.
It is.
I feel like it is.
If he doesn't like this, I'll be super shocked. It
It would be weird
would be weird.
because he's fixed.
If he doesn't like it, this is where I cut in and play the clip. If he does like it, I play it at the end.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I think that's about it, huh?
I definitely recommend going to watch the
Yeah,
2008 version
This
as
is
well.
definitely something that'll
Yeah.
do it.
This is a good. I think it holds up. I think the graphics are great for the time.
Yeah.
The cheesiest thing is probably the very first, UFO.
But
they
UFO
don't.
definitely is a pie pan.
But
yeah,
it's
definitely in my opinion.
good. It's good because they don't. It's just bright. Like they don't try to overplay their
anything
hand. It's
crazy,
just
yeah.
a bright fucking orb that comes through. It was good.
It's good. Well, sounds like we all agree on this one.
Fucking
And the
right.
last one, which is kind of weird.
I don't know. We were pretty. Your whole rating system on that one was a little off. I think.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to come back next episode and we're going to talk about 1958's The Blob. So be sure to check that out. And then that'll finish up our series on 50 science fiction. Beware of the blob. It creeps.
We can't say.
I know. I don't know.
Let's
the
just
words
move
either.
on to it.
Anyway,
Ugh.
Can you put the Blob song in the next episode?
no way. No way
I don't
is that
know.
legal.
It's a 50s movie. You'd think that
It
it's
might be
probably
public
past.
domain?
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, when was the fucking Night of the Living Dead? That's public domain.
well, that's because George Romero got screwed on it, though. That's like a whole thing. Like, the reason that movie's a public domain movie is like a whole story. Anyway, with that said, you guys, check us out, TOTLB.com. That's where you can find all of our social media interaction points. find us on Patreon at patreon.com/TOTLB. Give us some support, help the show out. We haven't had to do any cons this year because, COVID-19 fucking blows nutsacks. But be sure to go to Patreon, give us some support so that when things start happening again, we can still go to them. Let's see. You can email us. Might as well throw that in there at outsidethelongbox@gmail.com. If you have a project that you're working on and you want to talk with us about it, we love doing interviews with people from all basically brands of pop culture and all levels of expertise. You could be, you could be Brian Cox. You could be the people that, made the crazy ghost horror movie that I watched a couple weeks ago, Deadly Legend. You could be either of those kinds of people. Those people actually seem like they really have their shit together for independent movie makers, though. So maybe somebody else, like the guy that sent me Amityville Vibrator. You could be like that guy. Anyway, so
if you're that guy and you're watching, we want you.
Yeah, I'm already reaching out.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Other than that, speaking of vibrators, I knew this guy, right? And one time he rented a hotel and he did this thing where he tried to see how many vibrators he could get a midget to stick in his butt. And he died. That guy's Michael Kirk. Give us a call. Michael Kirk Memorial Hotline, 970-573-6148. There once was a man who loved midgets and now he's dead. His name is Michael Kirk.
We miss you, Mike.
Miss you.
With that said, I've been Gabe.
I'm Tim.
I'm Juan.
Fuck oil.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
See you, YouTube.